Internet, I'm Spike from Dudes Unlimited, and we're out here with Eric. He's got a special project he's going to show us. What do you got?
I'll show you my garden here today.
Okay, this does not look like your average everyday garden. What's so special about it?
Well, it's different in that it's a hydroponic system as opposed to growing your plants in soil.
Okay. Inside these buckets, there is not dirt.
There's no dirt inside the buckets. The system is set up to where it's grown in a medium that is inert. It does not hold water. It's not organic, and what we do is we feed the nutrients through it, give the plant everything it needs.
So you built this hydroponic farm yourself?
Yes, I did. The hydroponic farm, I built it myself.
Okay. Show me how this works.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where the magic starts.
This is where the heart of the system is. Because like I told you, the plants are not in soil, and so they still need their nutrients, and so that's where they get the nutrients is from this water. We add fertilizer to the water. There's a pump in here, it's on a timer, and it pumps the water out and in through the roots of the system, and the bigger line is the return line where it comes back. So we recycle the water. We don't use any more water than we actually have to.
Any idea how much water it goes through in a day?
It just depends on the time of year, and it depends on how hot it is and where the plant is, and where it's flowering or whether it's actually producing fruit. Right now I've got a lot of tomatoes that are producing fruit, and so it's using quite a bit of water. It's about 4 to 5 gallons a day it's using.
And how long and how often does the timer run?
The timer runs 4 times a day, 30 minutes at a time. Okay. And you can adjust that, just kind of depends on your plants. That's just something I found that works for me, and so that's what I've continued to use.
And this is your...
This is what I call my reservoir. The water I use is city water, and therefore it's got chlorine in it, some other things in it. And the plants don't always like that. It won't hurt them a lot, but just to give the plants every advantage that I can, what I do is I run water into here first. It's got an aerator in here, an air stone in here, and I let the water sit here till I need it, and I put it down into this tank. What happens is the chlorine is just evaporated out, so what I have here is water that doesn't have chlorine in it, and it also helps the pH a little bit.
Okay. And it's well oxygenated too, so...
Well oxygenated. I got water stones in all of my tanks.
Awesome. All right. Is there any way we can override your timer and run the pump right now?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so while this pump's running, tell me about this fertilizer you use.
The fertilizer is a commercially available hydroponic fertilizer. It's water soluble, it comes in a powder form. You measure it out. I also add calcium nitrate and Epsom salts to it. The ratios are 12 grams, and 6 grams for every 5 gallons of water. So I see how much I need to replace, and I mix it up as I come along and top the water off every day.
Use the scientific method of measuring, right? So.
Actually, I do. I've got a scale that measures it out by the gram.
Oh, I meant for the water.
Oh, for the water?
It looks like about 5 gallons.
I've kind of figured it out. I've used a bucket to measure it before, and so I kind of know about where it's at. I know, like today when we came in, it was pretty low. I'll probably have to add about 15 gallons to it. I didn't check on it yesterday, so,
okay, so there's a method to your madness.
A little bit of method.
All right.
And a lot of madness.
Now the calcium and the Epsom salt, what's the purpose of that?
The calcium, it actually increases one part of the fertilizer that's not very strong. And the Epsom salts is because it helps the plant take up the fertilizer. It's almost like taking in salty foods that makes you thirsty. It kind of does the same thing for the plants.
I see. Okay, let's get out of this hot shed and go look at the plumbing on this hypersonic farm you got here.
A hypersonic farm?
Tell me about this plumbing.
Well, the plumbing system is pretty straightforward. Where the water comes back out of the bucket here, there's another elbow on the inside. It's shaped. It's just like this, so it'll hold a little bit of water. When it overflows, it goes into here and obviously goes back to the tank. The distribution system is really where I feel like I've done a good job here. These are threaded inserts, and they hold the 1/4-inch lines. What I've done is I just drill and tap a hole here. I run that in there, and then I hook the line to it and wire it up here so it doesn't come out of the bucket. This run here is obviously very long, so at the end I went from 3/4 inch down to 1/2 inch to keep my pressure up.
Okay, so instead of soil, what's in these buckets?
Well, it's a product called Perlite is what I use, and it's an expanded type of almost feels like styrofoam.
Yeah, it does.
And what it does is it holds a little bit of water. Does it taste anything like cocaine, does it?
No, it doesn't taste like powdered sugar either.
And it's very light. Now, what it's porous and it will hold water, but it's also inert, so it won't change the pH or anything else. Won't add anything to the plants. Won't take anything away from it. really all this does is it gives the roots something to grab onto so the plants can stabilize themselves. What I
It's
do,
a little disgusting.
it's probably a lot disgusting. It's not really made to eat, I mean, but it is help us grow food.
All right, I'll take that.
What I do is I've got a bucket, and the first thing I do is I line it with a paint strainer. They're 5-gallon paint strainers, and what they do is they keep that dust that you saw from getting into the system so much.
Okay.
So what happens is I put the paint strainer in the bucket, I fill it with the perlite, kind of rinse it down and let it settle a little bit, then I plant my plant and add the water hose to it. And basically that's all I have to do. And from there, it's just like a regular garden. The plant will grow on its own, and it doesn't know any different whether it's growing in soil or if it's growing in the growing medium. And you can use anything for a growing medium.
Okay. And where do you get this stuff at?
I actually ordered this online. It comes in big 40-pound bags. I haven't found a place to source it locally, so that's what I do. There's other products out there that are more expensive, I think. You can also just use rocks or anything. Just something that will allow the water to go through, doesn't change the pH of the water, and also will be able to support the plant. It's really all you need.
Do you think sand would work?
Sand could work, although it holds water just a little too much, and your roots will end up, they'll rot a little bit because there's too much moisture in there.
I see. All right, so there you have it. This is Eric's Hooked on Phonics farm. And hopefully you've learned something. I know I did. Thanks, Eric, for having us on.
No problem.
For being on the show or whatever you did.
Anytime.
All right. I'm Spike from Dudes Unlimited, reminding you to never back down from a bad idea.